Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to my channel. This is your boy Fly Island Guy. I'm not going to tell you how much bullcrap is going into me actually getting this flight ready. And all things considered, is it even really worth it? Like, the job, I'm way past the due date, so I'm going to lose a bunch of money on it. I really need to stop doing that. But what basically happened was I initially came here to start the flight. Come to find out that there's no FBO at the airport. I thought I had enough fuel in my aircraft, but apparently I did not have any at all. I realized like a third of the way through the flight that I'm gonna run out of fuel long before I reach my destination, so I had to end the flight. I had to rent another aircraft from Schiphol Airport in Amsterdam, get some fuel, fly the fuel over here, stop renting the aircraft, and use that fuel that I bought over to load up this aircraft just so I could actually start this flight. So there's a lot that went on it, a lot that went into it. But here we are today. We are heading over to Dusseldorf in Switzerland. And I don't know if I have pronounced that right. Need to double check Navigraph, and Navigraph is not open. So I believe it's Dusseldorf. Dubendorf. There we go. I was way off. He said so we're heading over to a military base in Dubendorf, and the flight today is going to be about 1 hour 15 minutes. And we'll be flying at 43,000 feet. Although we're going to be doing a step climb, and so our initial altitude is going to be at 41,000. So I know since this flight started, you're probably asking, well, what the heck? Why are you sitting in the airfield or sitting on the field? And that's because, well, I didn't know where this space was when I lit up the airport. But if you go outside real quick, I didn't get to shade this last time properly. One sec. There we go. So this airport here in Tugu, or however you pronounce it, is actually well known for glider flying. And I think I mentioned this last time, but we didn't really see this section. So this particular part of the airport, this is where they have all the gliders laid out. And I think this is pretty freaking awesome. Alright. We are pretty much ready to go though, so I'm going to do something different for a change, just do like an external taxi. Figured out how to do that finally, so we're just going to rock that, and we're going to head to the runway and take off. Before that, I'm just going to make sure I have my taxi lights on. And good to go. Come on, man. All right. Can't taxi too fast as I land the hard way on the grass. So we actually need to go to the other end of the runway. And I'm trying not to apply too much throttle just to get out the grass. This grass is really long though. Did not realize that. Alright, here we go. Go this way. Alright. So glad I figured this out, even though it should have known a long time ago. Just because I like to enjoy the exterior view of the taxi, especially when we start getting into more substantial aircraft. So this is where I parked last time on the right. You see the airplane there in the stands. I'm not too sure what type of aircraft it is. Alright, and here we are coming up to the end of the runway. If you guys remember from last time, this runway is pretty short. I mean, it's long enough for us to take off fairly comfortably. But landing was a different story. Alright. We're just gonna park it here real quick. Alright, let's get our strobes and our landing lights on. And we're looking at 96 knots for takeoff today. So what I'll do is just gonna get our heading set in takeoff mode. And let's get out of here. And rotate. Gear up. As you can see, it's really cloudy today. There is some rain in the area as far as I know. And we'll double check the weather in a second. I'm going to go ahead and make that right turn. And autopilot, yaw damper. Go heading. And also flight level change. Alright. Kind of see a little bit of outside right now. Breaking out over the clouds now. While we're coming out, let's take a quick look at the weather, because we didn't really discuss it before we left. So Right now in Tugi, where we've departed, it's looking like we have some, well, there's no exact METAR for this airport, but it looks like we do have some rain in the area. Current temperature is 7 degrees C. And if I just go to the map, I can show you guys what I'm looking at. Hopefully it doesn't mess up in OBS. So this map is kind of what I'm looking at. So there's no METAR for this airport that we're at right now. But there isn't much in the way of weather. So this is rain. There is a little bit of rain around, but not near us. And if you look at our destination, which is LSMD, that's not what I want. I want this guy. Yeah, over there. What are we dealing with here? So right now we're dealing with winds from out of 2.0 at 18 knots. We're still looking at VFR conditions, although there is light rain in the area. Visibility is over 10 kilometers, so it looks like there is some rain moving in, but this is a fairly short flight, around an hour and 15 minutes, so I'm not really expecting too much to go wrong. I could imagine the weather's kind of moving in from the north and northwest, so that's why the forecast kind of changes as we move on. So we'll check it again when we get a little bit closer, but our flight's basically taking us kind of out of the Netherlands. I was sort of doing a loop around inside Germany and then coming down to Switzerland, coming into land. Crossed 10,000 feet a long time ago, so our landing lights can come off. And I'm going to go to standard barometric pressure. Crap. I just realized I forgot to enable nav mode, so we are way out of our way. Alright. That's what we're supposed to do. I'm gonna go here. Once we've finished our turn, we'll just enable nav mode and we should be good to go from there. So in terms of where we're heading today, let's pull this up. Let's see what Google has to say about Dubendorf. So Dubendorf is a municipality in the district of Uster in the canton. I don't know what a canton is. I guess it's like a state or province in Switzerland. So Dubendorf is a suburb with a population of about 30,000 people as of 2021, and it's the fourth largest city in the canton, after Zurich, Winterthur, and Uster. So Dubendorf has an area of 13.6 kilometers squared, so it's actually really small. This town, like near to where this airport is, and 37.6% of it is used for agricultural purposes, while 19.5% is forested. And on the rest of the land, 41.9% is settled, like buildings and roads, and the remainder is non-productive, so places they can't really build on, like rivers, glaciers, or mountains. So we've got a little rainbow over here from some precipitation. Always good to see in the sim. terms of demographics, the Dubendorf has a population of 29,907. That's as of December 31st, 2020. And as of 2007, 28% of the population was made up of foreign nationals. And as of 2008, the gender distribution of the population was 49.2% male and 50.8% female. And over the last 10 years, the population has grown at a rate of 10.5%, where most of the population speaks German, about 81%, with Italian being the second most common language and Serbo-Croatian being the third. So there's not much places of interest here. This little suburban town. It's quite small and it's easy to get around on foot, and crossing from one side of the city to the other can be done within a half hour of casual walking. So apart from the city center and the river, an interesting place to visit is the Museum of Military Aviation, displaying not just various military planes, but also various demonstration material. For instance, how helicopter control systems function. And two of the last original Junkers Ju-52 vintage aircraft. The Junker came to Microsoft Flight Simulator not too long ago, and those planes are used to provide sightseeing trips, so that is pretty cool to hear, folks. Alright, so we're making our way steadily up to 41,000. And let's close this guy. Forgot to engage nav mode again. What is wrong with me? Alright, I'm gonna do it this time. Yeah, we're gonna head up to 41,000 feet, and as per sim brief, once we hit Amosa, then we're gonna go up to 43,000. Now, what's going on? There we go. Weird, it was in nav mode all that time. I'm not sure why it didn't actually take over. So the weird thing right now for this trip is that we've been given runway 29 to land, but if we go to departure and arrival, turn on nav mode now. Yeah, if you go to departure and arrival, there's actually no arrivals for this airport. So no actual approaches for the airport. It just has the runway as listed. So I'm gonna need to set up the FMC so that we'll be able to do just kind of a visual approach in. I might see if I could tune one of the localizers or something like that, and still be able to pull off maybe an ILS landing, because the weather's gonna probably be a little iffy when we get there. But if not, then I'm just gonna use the charts to determine what altitude we need to get down to, and then we'll just try and shoot the approach from there. I don't think the weather's going to be too bad regardless, but still. Anyway, folks, that's pretty much it for now. Got a little bit of information on Dubendorf, and outside of that, just gonna sit back and relax and enjoy the flight. So I am gonna do a little bit of inception is gonna happen now, but I am using OBS now. So just testing that out to see how well that's gonna work. And if everything's all good, which I think it will be, I'm just gonna ditch shadow play, not use it anymore. OBS gives me a little bit more flexibility. So if any of you guys use OBS, I'm just curious to see what your thoughts are. Anyway, that's it for me, folks. I'll catch you when I get back. This is your boy Filing Guy. I'm out. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have started our descent into Switzerland, and man, it's been a rough one, as you can see. Getting some pretty heavy turbulence on the way in. Just froze just now too. Yeah, we're getting some pretty heavy turbulence on the way in, and let's just check a couple things. First of all, we're going to go ahead and check the weather, and let's see what's happening here in Dubendorf. Just pulling it up real quick. So conditions have deteriorated a little bit. We're down to MVFR conditions, which means that the ceiling has gotten a little bit lower. We lost a little bit of visibility. So the winds out of 240 at 21 knots, gusting to 38, varying from 130 to 130 to 290. Visibility is 10 kilometers or more. Clouds have broken 2,900 feet. I believe they were like 3,300 before. Overcast at 4,400, and temperature is 7 degrees. Definitely looking at some strong winds in the area. It's probably where the turbulence is coming from. And now take a look at the weather. Let's see that the precipitation is kind of taken over before. When we first saw the weather, precipitation was like north of Zurich. Now it's kind of moved completely down. So we are doing an approach into runway 29, and oh shoot, never did open Navigraph. So you're still not actually, we don't actually have an approach plugged into the computer, but I'm gonna try something here, which is maybe doing the ILS approach, if it's possible. So gotta move faster. So ILS runway 29. Frequency is 111.5. To 111.5. No, it hasn't picked up anything. Okay. It's all good. So we'll have to try this visual approach, but I'm not too sure how well it's going to work. We shall see. We're below 10,000 feet. Landing lights can come back on. I will go ahead and brief the passengers that we are about to land.
Have your attention, please. We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Return your seat to the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. After landing, please remain in your seat with your lap belt and shoulder harness securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop in the parking area. Thank you.
All right, passengers are briefed. So luckily this is an aircraft that I'm comfortable flying. So kind of doing these, I guess you call it audibles on the approach. Doesn't really bother me too much. So we're gonna have 5 nautical miles to get down to the runway once we make this turn. So I think once we kind of come out of the turn, I'm gonna go ahead and disable the autopilot and fly in fully manual. Just amazing that still at 7,000 feet we're still above the clouds. Alright, so I've set my altimeter and just want to set my minimums here. Minimums for runway 29. I'm just going to use the ILS minimums just because they're a little higher.
Altitude.
They're about 1470. Let's go ahead and set that. Close the refs menu. and 7 degrees C. Starting our turn now. All right.
Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Landing gear. Autopilot. Landing gear. Landing gear.
We are geared down. And we're just starting our descent. See the runway right in front of us. Beautiful, man.
500.
Oh, I wish we could enjoy this landing, man. This area is absolutely incredible. Wow.
Landing time log.
What happened there? Almost been off the runway. Wow. Well, that kind of ruined it a little bit. But, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dubendorf. Definitely not the safest of landings. And yeah, very stiff crosswind. Look at that. Look at that. Alright, so I'm going to come down to the end of the runway and just pause for a second because I'm not 100% sure where to go. Alright. So I'm just pulling up Navigraph here. Just look at the taxi chart. Going to connect to the simulator. I might have to restart the sim connect or whatever. But we landed on runway 29, so probably about here. So we should be able to maybe just come in, park around here somewhere. Okay. So we'll just go straight and then we'll turn left. Strobe lights can come off. And taxi lights are on. Seems like they were on all this time for some reason. Don't know why. Flight director off. And yeah. I think we're good to go. And the rain is coming down, folks. But what an awesome approach. I should maybe like turn on record when we're doing these approaches, just so you can kind of go back and take a look and enjoy it. Because this one was actually pretty picturesque, I must say. But yeah, as I mentioned before, the weather really kicked in. And we did see that on the map, the weather actually come through. So I'm sure right now the weather report's gonna go from MVFR down to IFR. Alright, let's just park right here. Awesome.
Engine off time log. Flight is finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Alright folks, and that is it for today. My apologies for the horrible landing. I actually thought I had it under control, and then the plane just started sliding left and it would not correct at all. That might be due to the heavy crosswind that you're dealing with. I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyways, that is it. Just trying to look over here what's happening in OnAir. So this job paid 34,000 credits, and look at that. I lost 11,500 just in delay penalties because we arrived way after the date. So I need to stop doing that because I'm really costing myself some good money. But here's what it is. Anyways, folks, I will catch you on the next video. Another awesome one's going to be coming soon, and I'm hoping that this OBS is really working out, like the recording's nice and smooth. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, let's just reset this. There we go. That's it for me. Got in just in time before the clouds opened up. I'll see you on the next one. This is your boy Fly Island Guy. Stay safe, and most of all, stay fly. I'm out. Peace.